The American legal system leaves a lot to be desired, especially for those who can't afford legal counsel. This fatal flaw, along with the court's legalese and stiff protocol, has created a knowledge gap between the people and their own courts.
If you are familiar with Judge Judy or Judge Joe Brown or all of the court TV shows, don't believe the hype. Real court is not like that. I'm Sonja Ebron, Chief Executive at Courtroom 5.
Sonja and her co-founder, Debra Slone, have taken on a crucial mission: democratizing American courts. But what can an electrical engineer and a librarian do against a monolith? A lot, actually. And this is how they do it. So, what is Courtroom 5?
Courtroom 5 is designed to help average people navigate our very complex civil justice system. Oftentimes, people are handling somewhat complex issues, whether it's a nasty divorce or a debt collection or foreclosure case, medical malpractice. We've seen, several dozen types of claims that people bring to us. But if you're handling one of those cases, chances are there's a lawyer on the other side, very experienced in managing the court process and prepared to beat you up. Litigation is a battle where one side wins and the other doesn't, generally. And so our app at Courtroom 5 is designed to help people level up, compete with those lawyers, and navigate the civil justice system so they can get a fair hearing in court.
What was the driving force behind creating Courtroom 5?
I'm a PhD electrical engineer. I'm not a lawyer. I don't have any legal training at all, other than what I actually experienced in court. So I was a college professor, managing my life, got into some financial trouble, as many of us do. I ended up getting sued. And, I had a really good income, as it turned out, but I could not afford a lawyer. And most of us don't have 60 grand just laying around, particularly when you're in financial trouble, right? So I quickly realized I couldn't afford a lawyer, but I felt like I had some good defenses to the claim. And I'm fairly smart, thought I could figure it out on my own. Well, I realized that it wasn't true. It's way too complex for the average person to deal with. Even someone with the educational advantages I had, I got my butt kicked very quickly. I realized during those experiences that there were a whole lot of people handling issues much more serious than I was handling who just didn't have a chance. They didn't even understand what was happening to them. This happened also to my wife of 20 years, who is a PhD librarian. So we sort of had separate tracks. We realized at some point, we got to do something about this. We're both educators. We've both learned to navigate the system ourselves. Let's stop just going to court and watching these people get screwed and see if we can't provide a solution that all of us can use. So that's sort of the origin of Courtroom 5.
According to the Institute for Legal Reform, America has the most expensive civil litigation system in the world. The nation's total litigation costs were 3/4 of what we spend on national defense, and 6 times more than the education budget. But accessible resources like Courtroom 5 change the game for those on the short end of the stick. How has user experience and feedback impacted the development of Courtroom 5?
We started off with a blog, just trying to share some of the things we had learned that were shocking to us. We would just write about and share in really layman's terms, and we found people willing to pay for that, just for that basic information. But they also gave us lots of feedback. So we don't give any legal advice, but we could tell them how we had addressed certain problems. And we started hearing common stuff all the time and just decided to build tools for it. It helps to have an academic background and to, understand that people get to an aha moment in every class, right? No matter what you're trying to teach. And so we tried to embed that in our training in particular. We used our own experience. We developed very sophisticated customer discovery and customer feedback practices. So we know when people get to that aha moment, no matter what the topic is. But when we're looking at something as complex as litigation, it's so important to be able to take these very, very difficult technical legal topics and make it accessible to regular people. And so we've got a large suite of video-based lessons on everything you'd want to know about litigation. where to sit in the courtroom when you go, depending on whether you're the plaintiff or the defendant, how to address the judge, what to wear, okay, how to write a motion, how to collect evidence, how to pick a jury, how to prepare for trial. All of that stuff is available in very short, accessible videos, right? Not a whole lot of legalese unless it's explained to you. But we took, feedback from all of our users and the problems that they were experiencing and just built tools for it. And so Courtroom 5 just developed in that way.
Courtroom 5's focus on accessibility is a huge part of what makes it such a powerful force in the world of litigation. According to a study by the IAALS, 66% of the US population experienced at least one legal issue in the past 4 years. That's over 220 million unique people who either have to cough up $60K for legal fees or figure out how to represent themselves. By using diverse teaching methods, videos, guides, chatbots, and paying attention to the broad strokes as well as the details, Courtroom 5 becomes more usable for more learners. The more people that can access and engage with this education, the more these barriers can break down. What's been a helpful mindset to have during this process?
You have to have a huge ego to want to lead a startup. It's necessary, right? You've got to go into it like you are going to change the world, and only you can do it, right? Right? It's just a part of the mindset that you have to carry. At the same time, it really gets in the way. It can so easily turn into arrogance. It's the reality is I'm not the only one that can do this. If you're not cautious, if you're not checking yourself on that ego all the time, it will lead you astray. It absolutely will take you down the wrong path. And so I I practice humility and just actively check my ego and just question myself all the time. Not in a way that introduces doubt about what we're doing, but just get a different perspective. It has been so helpful for me.
Love that insight. Do you have any more advice to offer aspiring entrepreneurs?
Every entrepreneur is aspiring. Every one of us. You're never done. As long as you're doing the work, you are always aspiring. And there are people on the fence. I talk to them all the time about, I'm waiting for the right idea, or I'm waiting for this, I'm waiting for that. Don't wait. Don't wait. Go get started. Wherever you can start, that's where you start. The best business ideas come from your own experience. You want to solve a problem that you've directly experienced because you know it well, okay? Particularly when you found a solution. Even when you haven't, right? You can be in search of one. That can be your entrepreneurial journey. That's really all there is to it. Go for it, right? The solution is going to evolve. The people you're serving are going to evolve. All of it is going to evolve, especially you. Just jump in. Just do it.